Before we get into this episode, make sure you're subscribed to our channel. You can hit the notification button so you can get updated weekly on all of our latest content. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, tell us what you want to see next below. I have wanted you on the podcast, I feel like, for 6 years. I'm so happy that you're here.
6 years.
Yeah. Because
You never returned our calls. We were calling.
No, that's not true. I never got any. Because literally when I came in, I said, why wouldn't you just call me?
I think you're busy.
I am, but I still would have seen it. And then I would have responded and said hi. And then I would have passed you to we could have done this much quicker.
We could have done it while we were getting pedicure scrubs. Beachy
I need
showers.
to go though. You're doing better than me.
I'm doing good with the pedicure scrubs. And Michael loves getting head at pedicure.
It's true. It's true.
Only on special occasions.
Only on special
We
occasions.
give the best head.
They do. You guys, if you haven't tried the head spa at pedicure, you're missing out.
It's really nice. It's Japanese technology.
Best.
It's the best.
It's literally the best for the nervous system ever.
And for the health of your hair and the follicle and all that. It's quite technical.
It's crazy when they look at when you do the camera stuff.
Kind of creepy, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if I've seen some that are no, people have buildup that must be I don't know, years.
When they were showing me the buildup of others and so they were going to do it for me.
Okay, don't make her sick as a.
I was like, if I have that buildup, I'm going to be very self-conscious. Thank God I was.
But can I just say, you guys, for those who don't know what we're talking about, just a quick thing, right? It's kind of like technology. So it's a camera that takes this ultra microscopic images of your hair shaft, and just people out there, you guys, sometimes a little dish soap goes a long way. Yep. A little apple cider vinegar in your once a month, a little rinse, guys. You have to keep the quality of your cuticle and hair shaft. You have to keep that clean.
It's a great tip. The
and
scalp.
we know because we see it on a cellular level. It's so odd. It's crazy. So.
We just mentioned shafts and head in the same sentence, and people were getting other ideas.
Well, you said head spa.
Head spa. And just
it's a lot of ideas to get there.
Everyone who's wondering, so I am friends with Anna of Pellicure. You guys are partners.
Yes.
And she has been telling me that you have to come on the show and how entrepreneurial you are and how you all have all these endeavors and motherhood and all these things for a long time. So finally you're here.
I think she's kind of like my manager.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people do this, but I'm going to say shout out to Anna. I don't know if you say that.
In a weird way.
I'm going to say that because I honestly feel I've known her for so many years. And this is my partner that I'm talking about, but I've known her for so many years and I love her. And you don't always have partnerships like that. A lot of times you probably don't like the people. I've also had headaches with people. And so I feel how I met her, she came with so much Kimora knowledge and isms and and so I've just kind of gotten to see that over the years, and she works she's my
special.
manager. Go here, do this, call this one, you have to do this, you have to say this.
She's bossy.
Yeah, very much so.
She's kind of me and Michael's manager too in a different way.
You don't want to cross her.
No, we love
you
Anna.
Definitely don't, and which is also what I love about her. People will call me and sometimes it's oh my God, your partner, and I'll be what happened, and right away I can go to, and what did you do? Because I know what kind of person she is. And so she's very no bullshit. Wait, can you say bullshit?
Yeah.
Can you say anything?
You can say anything you
so
want.
if we really were
let's
talking
define.
about sex, that's okay?
Oh.
We weren't. We were talking about the head spa. But
we can talk about anything we want. You can
great.
let it rip. Okay.
I don't have anything to rip too
Are
much.
You sure?
I mean, no.
We'll see. Let's see where we go.
I'm not sure.
Let us warm you up. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so
I'll take it.
I heard here that you went from St. Louis to Paris at 13 and you were walking for Chanel at 13 years old. Is that true? How does that happen?
So I was in St. Louis, Missouri, which I always explain to people is the middle of the United States. It's next to I don't know, Chicago, maybe.
Okay.
It's a big city that you know. But other than that, it's kind of landlocked, and it's we have the Missouri River, the Missouri, maybe the Mississippi River touches. I'm not quite sure about that. But it's it's giving cows and rural, and this is where I grew up. So I looked for what was there, very, very different, very, very unusual. There weren't really mixes of people. It was very much a stark line, black or white. It's black or white. That's it. And if maybe you were mixed with black and white, that was something. So Mariah Carey would be exotic.
Okay.
So me, I was a total misfit, just looking weird and looking strange. And I never fit in. And my mom signed me up for these classes to give you like confidence and stand up straight and, how to enter a room and have self-confidence. And there I met someone that was like, you could really, her name was Meg, you could really like make something of yourself in this type of business or photography or modeling or runway. Like you should give it a try. And so I did that locally in St. Louis. So it was like Purina dog chow or like Target ads or something like, like it was in the Sunday Mailer or something like that. And then I went to a seminar in Kansas City, and it was like a legit thing. And you never know in fashion if it's legit or not. You're going to these seminars, they're taking your kids' money. You guys, it's the biggest scam in the world, so be careful. But this one was legit, and there were so many agents from all over the world, and I met one. His name was Etienne, and he's from Marilyn Gauthier. Anybody who's in fashion knows Marilyn still to this day. She's a big agency in Paris. And the next thing I know, they whisked me off to Paris. They talked to my mom, and they were like, she could really do this. I went to Paris. My first casting was Chanel.
It's a big
and
one.
I landed
it's a
the
good
job.
First casting.
And that was it.
Wow.
Were you really, really tall when you were young?
I was the same as I am now. So I'm 6 feet tall. I've been 6 feet tall since like 13. Yeah, my son, Kenzo, is 15 and he's 6'8".
Whoa.
So he can say, like, I've been 6'8" since like 14, like 15. Yeah, I've been this height forever.
That's
6'4"
cool.
in heels.
He's 6'8"?
Weird, right? It's like I think it's a weird Asian gene.
Oh, wow.
I think I got it. I think I got it from my mom. She has it. I think so.
So when you go to Paris at 13 years old, are you with your family? Are you staying there for a long time? What happens?
No, I was alone because my mom worked for Social Security. So she worked for the government. She couldn't leave. It's very 9 to 5. You're not allowed to leave. You're not allowed this, that, and the third. I was an only child. So I was by myself. I was homesick. I was running up $5,000 a month phone bills. Back then it's like a collect call, or like you actually have to make a call. It's not Wi-Fi, you're paying by the minute. I would run up phone bills, and that's all I ever wanted to do with my money that I would make was like talk to my mom. I was like, so
That's wild. How long did you stay there for?
So I stayed for some months at a time, like off and on. I had all my books. I went to, I had a tutor. Sometimes she would travel with me, sometimes not. But I had all my work and all my books. My luggage, in fact, was mostly textbooks, heavy, heavy textbooks. And I would travel with these books. A lot like Aoki nowadays, with her books and her heavy, heavy books and her luggage and paying the extra fees for all these books.
Were you very smart as well? As beautiful?
I was pretty smart.
You've always been really smart.
Pretty smart, I would say so.
Okay,
so what is it, it's like a homeschool program, or it's part of the school program you were able to do?
No, it's part of the school program.
Okay,
and I had my books and I did my studies and I had a tutor. So like you can't give yourself a test. You need a proxy or a registered tutor to give you that. So I had someone I worked with that was like authorized by the school.
And what adult figures were there with you? If your parents, were they?
I was by myself. I went to live in a model apartment. Like I said, I did have my tutor sometimes on the road with me, but not like a lot.
That's kind of crazy for a 13-year-old to do that.
The first person that when I went to Chanel, the first person that Karl Lagerfeld put me with was Naomi Campbell. And he was like, here's another girl who's left, her mom early. I think if I was 13, Naomi was probably like maybe 19, 20, something like that.
Were the other models nice?
No one was.
Yeah.
Rarely were they nice. They were terrible. Not Naomi, but it was terrible. They were terrible.
How did you deal with that at 13 years old?
I think I was just kind of young, and I think I was a little bit naive, and I think I just kind of ignored it. I don't know. They were older than me, so they kind of seemed like old and bitter. And that's a reason, like now, to this day, I will never be mean to like a young girl or a young model or an aspiring, hopeful something. Or I would never be that, ex-wife that like, you can come home with a 20-year-old. I don't have anything to say about that. Not home to my home, but you can go to your home. And I'm not going to be like dogging her because she's 20. I won't do that because I was that girl.
So what are the things that they would do?
Oh, just be terribly, terribly mean. Like I think anything you've ever heard of in a documentary or in a book has happened. Like crack the back, like hit your heel like around here. So when you walk, your heel like
Oh,
you know, that
break.
you can bend the heel. and
Damn.
so you're like on the, you know, or like just take your clothes, take your stuff, steal your stuff, push you over, shove you out of the way, talk about you.
And so what would you do when that stuff would happen? You just kind of took it?
Yeah,
Or you would-
I don't even think it would always come to me, or you don't know, or I'd be like, gosh, my heel broke. Like, who did that? You know, you don't necessarily know.
What makes you want to continue modeling after doing all these collect calls home and having this cattiness? Was it just in you?
I think when I went to have a job like Chanel be my first job, so I got the job at Chanel and then I kind of stayed at Chanel. That's what people don't exactly understand. So back then it was called like a cabine girl, where like all of the clothes for the haute couture was made on my body for these clients. And these clients are like Princess of Monaco, Queen of this, Queen of that. And you're standing there while they're making the clothes on you and you're holding her cheese plate for her to get her cheese. And you're looking like you keep eating that cheese, you're not gonna fit this. And they're literally making the clothes on you. It was me and like 3 or 4 other girls.
So you just wanted to keep doing it? There was like a
So I
fire in
think-
you?
So I went to work every day. It's like a contract. So I went to work. That's why I say would go home every
So you
many
couldn't
months.
like just break it.
No. I had to go there every day. I went to 31 Rue Cambon, which anyone knows is Coco Chanel's house. And the atelier is on one floor, her apartment's on another, the offices are on another. It's like her whole, like a townhouse. And I was homesick, but like, don't forget what I said about in the beginning, like St. Louis, Missouri. They weren't very nice to me. And what am I going to do? Tip cows in the evening? I've never tipped a cow. However, my friends have. Like the proximity. I can't do it.
Is tipping a cow milking it?
No. It's like literally
When they're-
pushing it over.
When they're standing and
When they're
sleeping.
standing there and sleeping, and then like they run out in the night and they push cows and they do this weird shit. I never
You know
have
what she
done
said
that.
to me? She goes the other day, she goes, listen, I think we need to get a barn with some like chickens
Me
and some
too.
horses.
I know.
And I'm like, who the hell's taking care of this, Lauren?
We
You
will.
don't even know.
Yeah.
I want my
She wants to
dream.
tip
If I
cows.
could show you like any of my manifestation boards or any of my stuff, it's always about a barn and a greenhouse. And I want all these animals. And even now I rescue animals, but I want to be able to rescue all kinds of animals and not have to obviously kill them or get rid of them. I just want them to be able to live with me.
And
and right
I
now
might
my
partner
house
with
is like
us.
that.
I said if
I will too.
if she
On a
takes
barn?
on
Yeah.
I want to.
if she takes on the barn and the organization and the cleaning of the barn and the taking care of the animals, I could be on board. But I
Yeah.
don't
Well,
know
what
if
did
that-
you do?
I'm not doing
Were
that.
you the farmer?
No,
you want me
I'm
to
not the
milk you?
I don't anytime.
Wow.
I feel like we're not at that stage of like.
But
let's-
then what are you contributing?
I'm not contributing.
He doesn't
at
want,
all?
no, he doesn't
No.
want to
Then
contribute.
why would you live there?
I wouldn't. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
well, don't
Oh, we're
partake.
on our own?
Yeah.
That's I'm saying. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
You know what I would
Are we a
contribute?
couple?
I would
Are we a-
contribute if it was like if I could show up to
You're
the
not
farm.
going to be a farmer? Be such a cute farmer.
Maybe later in life. Well, thank you.
You could farm naked.
Because you have kids. So do you get farm visitation?
Yeah, I would
Like,
get
how
the
does that work?
visitation.
You can have some eggs.
But you're not
My
interested.
mom.
Oh,
No, I love horses and
Which
all the things. I just know
Which eggs?
these are all very romantic
Enough
things,
eggs.
but they're a lot of work. My mom had horses. My dad. It's a whole
I
thing.
love
My dad.
that.
grew up
So
on a
you're
farm.
kind of a farm and stable person, so you know about it and you don't really love it.
I'm like, let me show up to the ranch for
Whereas
a
we're
week.
more enamored by this.
I want
The
some raw
illusion.
milk and some eggs.
I'd like to be able
Same.
to leave it and not worry about it.
I want
You
to
know?
be able to leave it too and travel and do things. I want to be able, I could have like farm hands if somebody will come and work with me and
See,
help me.
that's
But I
what-
think it
see,
takes
here we
time
go.
to build up to that. You can't just be like, I'm getting a farm and I have farm hands.
Everybody
well,
watch-
some people can.
Everybody
It's
watched
grounding.
Yellowstone, and I was like, hey, the one lesson people didn't take from Yellowstone? I'm like, did you notice all those grown men that lived in like the side barn and bunks together? Like those are the guys that are taking care of the ranch. The other guys just sitting up there drinking whiskey.
I would do it though myself.
Oh,
Some of it. A lot
I believe
of it.
her. I believe
Oh my
her.
gosh, I would have like over the knee rubber boots.
I would love to see this with you. Just one day we'll go to a farm and I'll watch
One
this
thing
whole
about
thing.
me is I like to change my personality.
As you're in your
sometimes.
one piece
I would do
Gucci.
This is just today.
Okay.
Tomorrow I'm
This
a
is
Gemini.
2 pieces.
Okay,
And
whatever it is.
tomorrow I'll be in my pajamas with my gut hanging out with no
Same.
makeup. So sorry, like I
Not a
mixed it
gut,
up.
it's a baby.
A baby. I hope.
Mine is a gut, yours is a baby.
Did you have context of how crazy it was to be modeling in a Chanel runway show and going to you said 31 Rue?
Cambon.
Okay, did you have context when you were young or did you not know how gnarly that is?
So, okay, we were kind of talking about that before, and I think I got off topic, which I'll probably do 1,000 times. That's my ADD. But I don't think I knew it. I think I was taking it all in as I was going. And
Got
it was
it.
very fantastical and like lights, camera, action. The runways are like you know, the runways are probably like, some of them like 5 feet tall, a lot of feet wide. So, you know, you're very elevated and it's lights, and I think I love it. And just the music was so good and it was so loud and it drowns out everything when you're walking. And I don't know, I kind of love it. And don't forget, it was like a rock or a hard place. That's where I was. Do you want to go to St. Louis and be picked on? Or would you rather be in Paris at 31 Rue Cambon with supermodels picking on you? Take your pick, because you're going to get picked on. So I just kind of took it, and I stayed to myself, and I'm an only child, don't forget. So I was kind of okay. I'm really independent. I was a latchkey kid. I can let myself in. Not going to lose my key. It's around my neck. Not today, though.
To me, it's so surprising that you were picked on, because when I see you now, you seem so confident. Like, it's like crazy.
Because I was picked on.
So how did that start to happen, where you gained confidence to not be picked on?
It never happened until I was an adult and I started doing my own thing. And then I became a model. But even then, people were picking on me. So then I had to figure out how to get out of modeling. And for me, that was with fashion. So I started a line at a very young, I started Baby Phat at a very young age. So I think just my young adulthood is, and by then now I'm married and I had Mingy, and, you know, I think it was like, I don't think I ever got over it. Probably to this day, which is why I advocate so much for young girls and young women. Right now, before I came in here, I was literally on a conference call with a lawyer because someone's picking on my kid in the modeling industry. Like, it's a problem. So I advocate for young women. And even when I was always doing my shows and Baby Phat shows in the 90s and 2000, you know, I would never treat a model like that. Some of the things I went through, and some of the people that we know that still to this day are very famous editors and such, and their behavior is a little different. I would never do that. I embrace that. I know that these young women are someone's kids. I have my own kids. It was just terrible. So I'm the opposite. I try to take girls that look different. I try to take girls of all shapes and sizes. Like, I love you if you're super thin, and I love you if you come with all the junk in your trunk. I've had girls come to me crying and saying, like, this is my last casting. My agency said my boobs are too big. And that's what made me hire her. Jessica White was one of those girls. You remember her? I have like so many stories. Chrissy Teigen told me I gave her her first job. Like, I have so many stories in the industry of just, I would not be that person. And I think that's why so much maybe goodness has been afforded to me. I think it's like a kind of a blessing, kind of a
like
karma.
Yeah.
I think so.
Do you think it's worse now or when you were younger in terms of bullying?
I thought it was worse when I was younger. I thought it had died down. I know obviously of lots of stories from Ming and Aoki, but only now seeing, like, for example, what's going on with Mingy, I realize, oh gosh, it's, you know, I even told you that. I realized, oh wow, I'm shocked someone would be doing that to my daughter, to me, and to this young girl. That's crazy. So I'm realizing it's going on still now.
How are you gonna help her to figure it out and solve it? Like, what do you what's the advice that you tell her that she's getting bullied? What do you say?
It's very tough. I try to say, like, I try to use things as learning lessons. So, you know, you have to advocate for yourself, and you have to, like, read the fine print when someone tried to sneak you on a contract and put something in there. You know, they're young girls. And so I say, like, how did this happen? Or did you look at this? Or did you, you know, and she'll say, like, well, it wasn't meant to be that way. It was meant to be this way. Or the person said this, but they didn't write that. And so, you know, you wedge yourself into situations. You have kids, they can wedge themselves into situations. But I try to use it as like a life lesson for them.
The bullying is so ridiculous too. It's so much easier to be nice than to bully. It also
I think so, but I don't think other people think that.
I feel like
they're like mean, or they're like grumpy, or they're cantankerous, or they're angry, or I do think a lot of times it's not even like about you.
Right.
You know, it's not about me. I think it's just that's how you were.
Yeah.
Or you had something going on your own time, in your own head, I think.
I think it's like a confidence and an insecurity issue. Typically people are lashing out like that are battling a lot of insecurity.
Something, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. I think they're battling something. And having grown up with that doesn't really faze me.
Like, think of in our world, if you're a super confident, happy
it's
person,
unbelievable.
you would never engage in that behavior. It's the people that do that, there's something that an issue that they're already trying to work through.
I agree. So I told my kids First of all, I tell my kids to stay out of the comments and stay off of the internet.
Agreed.
If you go looking for shit on the internet, you're going to find it. Like if you go looking through your man's phone for something or your woman's phone, you're going to find what you're looking for. If you go looking for shit, you're going to find shit. So I first of all tell them to stay away. Now, do kids stay away? Absolutely not. So then when they come crying about the things they didn't stay away from, I say, like, show me that what's going on. And they show it to me. And I'm looking at the name. I was about to say, I'm looking at the name. There's no followers or there's some, look at their page, like look at this stuff. And quickly I say, do you see what this is? This is probably like a 90-year-old man. I don't know what. Who is this person? It's a faceless person. I always say this. Behind a screen or, like we call them like keyboard gangsters. Who is this person and who are you? And you hopefully would have raised your kids or, you would have put a little something in your friend's battery pack, right? Like, who do you know yourself? Because we really don't know these people. R2D2 at whatever. Like, look at the names even. I don't even know what it is.
R2D2. Do you know who R2D2 is, Lauren?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. It's a Star Wars person.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know which one. One of the metallic ones.
He's an astromech droid.
Is he the gold one or the little one?
He's a blue and blue and
Michael
white.
on Star Wars comments, he knows it all.
You have 30 minutes? No, I'm just kidding.
No.
My birthday is May 4th.
Okay.
May the 4th be with you.
After working with Chanel, what was your next big endeavor?
So then I went on after probably a couple of years and I started doing like modeling all over because now you're not in a contract. And I think when you leave after having like years job with Chanel and being the face and being like the muse for Karl Lagerfeld, you can get probably any job. So then I got all of the job, all of the runway jobs and all of the things. And by now I'm cooking. I'm like a model. But then I was remembering that people were always so mean. So how do I get out of here? Like, what's the closest exit? And I thought it was so funny that you would get paid all this money and like all these people come to look at you. It was always so strange to me. Because I grew up the girl that everyone said was so ugly. So that's weird now. You're here to look at me and then you're paying money to get in or you're buying these clothes. It was just so odd to me. And it made me realize, so if you broke your leg tomorrow at school, or you got chopped off by a bus, I don't know, God forbid, something happened, no one's going to want you anymore. It's like over that quick. So by now, this is like, how old am I? 15 with these messages, 16, 17, 18. And I had to think of something else to do because I couldn't stomach being in an industry that was like so built on like the fluff of like how you look alone. And that's the whole thing about sex sells and beauty sells. Like now I know, but keep in mind I was navigating this as a kid. So I'm figuring this out on my own. And I'm figuring out it's not really a place I want to live.
To be that young and to realize that is crazy. I remember when I was like 21 bartending and I had a guy friend of mine be like, you can't lead with your looks. You need to find something else. And you almost realize that at 15, it's like you have to create value in something other than your looks because
it's fleeting. Looks change.
Looks change. And
like I said, you could be, who knows?
If this pregnant.
Another thing, that was the thing. I had all my kids on the runway, walking down the runway, so I could be big, small. I don't have the pressures of being, I'm not a Hollywood actress. I'm not, So I'm a business person. I can look how I want to look.
You're an entrepreneur. It sounds like at like literally 16 years old, you figured that out, but you didn't maybe have the word.
For sure. It could have even been an accountant. It could have been a bookkeeper. It could have been something else because I was watching my money and like down to the FedEx and counting my stuff. So I don't really know what the word was, but I was something that I didn't want it to be model.
How many of the women that you kind of started with still like had longevity in the career and like stayed?
Oh, many.
And how many kind of fell off? Is it like, I guess I'm asking since I'm not familiar with the modeling world outside of talking to some people that have done it. What is like the ratio of people and the longevity, once you start to compare to when you kind of get thrown out? Like, do most people stay for long periods, or is it a lot of people?
You mean of girls that I discovered?
Not
like
girls
that
you
I work
discovered,
with?
just
no, that you
girls that
with.
I came up with?
Yeah, like how many of them actually have long careers?
No one in the modeling industry, I don't think, has done what I've done. I can't name one.
That is not a surprise, but I'm wondering, like,
I mean, there are a few. Hold on, there are a few, but like, let's talk about who they are. I know them off the top of my head, like Heidi Klum.
Yeah.
Cindy
But she didn't do
Crawford.
what I do, meaning she's not making clothes. She's not creating a lifestyle for young people and multi-generations of people. Different. She's more of a producer, a TV person. She does what she does, but not really a brand.
Okay.
She does have a brand,
Yep.
but it's a brand that many people have that brand. And she took it, I think, like top model for Germany or something like that. Tyra created top model. But that is her brand, but it's not really selling clothes or something like that. I don't know that there are girls. Now, Heidi had a bunch of kids, so I count that. But it's not a lot of girls that had, like, you were a model and then you had a family and you were married and you had lots of kids and then you had multiple different successful businesses. I really don't know who that person
so I guess
is.
in the reverse of that, I was asking, like, what happens to the majority of people
What
that
happens
don't
to the ones that
I don't know.
just fall off?
Naomi is still is working, but she's as a model. That's different. I get some of them are still there, but the rest of them, I think they maybe went on, or maybe they're married, or maybe they're moms, or maybe they do have businesses. I'm sure quite many of them do.
No, but
I
not-
just don't know what they
I mean-
are, or I haven't seen them anymore, or it's like a class reunion. You guys see me. I don't know.
All right.
All right.
Got it. Yeah, no,
I
but-
want to have a class reunion, by the way, because I'm wondering where all these people are.
She wants
And
a class reunion. All
back
the
then I
bullies
wouldn't.
line up.
Back then, I would never, ever go.
You
I was
should
like,
go.
oh, I'm on the cover of this magazine. Send that. That's enough. Or, oh, I did this. Send that. That's enough. But now I actually want to know where people are. And it's only because I remember the few nice friends I had, not like to find the bullies. I wouldn't even necessarily remember them like that. I
Well-
want to find the friends that I had.
I'm sure the bullies are not feeling great. What is the first entrepreneurial thing that you did? What age?
I don't know. I think it was off on my own modeling at 13.
Yes.
And after that, it was probably starting a brand, starting Baby Phat. And I was probably 21.
Oh,
How do
still
you-
young.
I'm not exactly sure, but
How do you
young.
have that idea at 21? Like, what sparked that idea? How did you find the name? How did you get the
'Cause
brand?
remember I said, how the hell do I get out of here? Where's
Right.
the exit door? So I'm looking for an exit. And by then I would have been married or at least like engaged. And my then fiance husband had a clothing line for
Okay.
men and wanted to do one for women and came out with all of these crazy clothes that look like men's clothes on women. And I was like, we don't want that. And every time I would come in and be like, we don't want that. Like,
What did he say when you said that?
and he would be like, yeah, you're right. Like, what do you want? And so I just started taking the stuff and turning it around and giving girls what they wanted. And so I launched a line. I started the woman's counterpart to the men's line at that time.
Did it take off right away?
Yes and no. It did in the sense that I had a lot of model friends. And so I would put the girls in like a baby tee like this. This is like a classic
cute.
piece. And so now you have all the cute girls wearing your stuff and you're just giving it to them, which is one thing I say right now to people when they say, how do you like make it as an entrepreneur? How do I get my product out there? I'm like, just get it out there. Just give it to your friend. Like loan it to them. Give it to them. Put yourself in the fashion show at the local high school, right? Make stuff for someone's red carpet appearance. Get yourself out there. If it's on the other side of the microphone, get someplace where you're interviewing your friends, talking to someone, meet someone at the Starbucks and interview them. Whatever it is that you want to do, get yourself there. It's free.
It's interesting because you were doing at 21 what people do now in a different way. We call it user-generated content, where like I'll gift someone an ice roller and then hoping like maybe they'll use it on social media in like a really
Right.
seamless way. You were doing that before this was even a thing with your model friends and just hoping that they would wear it or talk
For
about
sure.
it. It's cool.
I realize now that I was doing a lot of things then that were the first.
Yes.
Now.
And there was no
And I
social
only
media.
know it because there was no social media.
Yeah.
All of the marketing was ourselves. We had to figure that out and do it ourselves. We created a whole kind of licensing model that you use your name and create a product. And then came a lot of other artists that had brands and, rappers and musicians that would go to do TV and a lot of cross-pollination of your name and your likeness. We kind of built that model. And now I see girls that are like, oh my God, I have my first, fragrance, or I have like a skincare line that's inclusive of all kinds of skin, or I have a makeup line that has all these colors and all these shades, and everyone's so excited and I love it. And then I think like, oh my God, I did that
Yeah.
already 20 years ago.
It's wild.
I don't even feel old enough to say that, but I can say that. And these people who are doing it now were my friends then. we've always been friends, kind of in the business, friendlies, I'll call him.
When your ex-husband, who's successful on his own,
He who shall remain nameless.
Okay, so
Everyone knows his name though. Like I don't.
he who shall not be named when you're married and he's so successful, but then he sees his wife becoming so successful with her line. Was that a trip, or was he like, I'm going to give you all the business tips and advice, or were you like on your own?
So yes and no. But what people sometimes forget, and sometimes they remember, is I was already successful when I met him in my way in fashion.
Right.
And he was already successful as a music and hip hop mogul and founder, like kind of a
So you guys,
founding
it's
father.
like two successful people coming together. You just got more successful.
And I was much younger.
Yeah.
So actually,
How old were you when you got married?
Relativeness.
I was
Young?
like, I don't know, 21, young.
Young.
I was like 16 when I met
Did you like him right away?
him. I was young, and he's like 20 years older than me. So that's a whole
Michael's
nother.
parents are the same.
Your parents?
Yeah.
Well, they're 18 years. They're still together.
Yeah.
They're-
We're like 18
That's like a
years
normal
apart.
thing. I mean, maybe it's
My
not normal
second
now.
husband will be 18 years older.
Your next one?
Yeah.
All right, when you're not moving to the farm,
Yeah, then
the
I'm-
farmer.
Well, the farm is probably what's going to break us. To be honest, it's going to be
See,
the
so
farm.
then now we already know.
She'll go 18 up. I'll go 18 down. We'll call
That's how it goes.
We'll call it a 36-year gap. We'll split it. We'll split it that way.
You know what?
idea.
I care about the brain.
Yeah.
So
I've had enough.
The
brains. I
mind.
got enough brains
you
around
were
me.
afraid.
Guys don't always want that. They want them girls to like shut up. I don't
Actually,
really know.
though, I do like to be around women with big brains and big personalities.
That's very true,
You know,
Yeah, you're trying. I feel like you're putting you.
I get.
I thought you were going to say
I
big
will
breasts.
lose. Maybe my ADD brain too. I will lose a lot of interest if I don't have a little bit of a sparring thing. Like Frank
I
Sinatra.
think so too. That's because that's what I have to offer. So that's how I look at life, how I frame it. But I do know I have plenty of friends that don't want someone that's so intelligent in a partner. They don't want.
I don't want
your
someone with their
opinions, they
brains
want you just
rattling
to-
around like an old ping pong ball in there. I need it to be like stuck in there
Yeah, I
securely.
meet ping pong girls.
Frank Sinatra
Lots.
said it shouldn't be a staring contest.
It's true.
Oh.
It's true. It's a good quote. It's a good quote.
That's what he said.
I know a lot of guys that want a staring contest.
Huh?
They want them just to.
I think that's like fun for a minute, and then you're like, okay, what do we do? You might.
We know what it's fun for.
Yeah, but then then let's skip the whole preamble of the getting in the car and the going to the dinner and the doing the whole thing. It's
Dang.
just like, well, because we're just gonna sit there and look at each other, Might as well just
Well, you
get.
just want to jump in
might
the
as well
sack?
might as well just get to it if we're not gonna talk about anything.
That's
Oh my
called a
gosh.
high-end escort.
You know what?
And you have to be chivalrous. Is that dead? You have to be
no,
like
I don't want to not
nice,
be
like
dead,
date,
but I'm
court.
saying that.
I think what
Tell
he's
us
saying,
we're beautiful.
it
You
would be
know-
hard for him to be. It would be hard for you if you need some brain between the ears.
I would prefer not to split up because I know I'd be an absolute disaster at this point. Any kind of date, I wouldn't know where to begin. Like in one way, I would just be totally.
you what?
If I had to go and start all over and do the whole
All
thing.
he has to do
Oh.
is write at Lauren's ex in his bio.
That's true. I would create a dating profile and I would use a bunch of pictures of her and I'd
That's
be
true.
like, I'm the ex, and then that would be my trap.
Because they want to go to Christmas with
That's
us.
true.
You know what I mean?
So my first baby daddy used to always say when we were friendly, he would say, I get so much P word because of you. And don't do that. Don't laugh like that. You're going to have Braxton Hicks right now. He's going to start cramping down low.
I get so much pussy because
that-
of
but
you.
that just-
He would
That's
say that. And I
amazing.
would say, that's right. And I'm glad you know that because you're my bitch. I would say that. to
That's
him.
well, it is true.
But he'll tell a different story. But
No.
this is.
I think guys
is the true
get a
one.
lot of pussy from who they date before.
For sure.
Sorry,
And
I'm
I think
married.
Wait, say sorry to me.
a lot of girls over there have come and gone thinking that they can replicate that situation, but not knowing or being aware of what I brought to the situation. What I brought is not what you bring, honey. So therefore, it's a little different. It's a staring contest.
I'm gonna say after meeting you, it's gonna be hard to replicate. Good luck.
It's been hard for most.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be
been
hard.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just like maybe not give me the headache. Just let me just kind of just stay in the lane that I'm going.
I
in.
almost like want you to go see what's out there for like a couple weeks and like go see what's out there.
No, that is how break babies come about.
No,
A lot of extra baggage could come from that. You have to be careful.
That's what we just had Dr. Drew on, and he told us that he has never seen a like 3-way couple or 3-way situation work out ever in all his years.
Like in the long term.
I know Drew, Dr. Drew, and I like Drew, but I don't agree with that. But I'm not a doctor, but I don't agree with that because I know plenty of people
And it
that
works?
have very nice, successful relationships, and it works. And I know plenty of people that you all would know, and every person in this room would know, like the most famous people in the world, and they have decent relationships. And I think it's because maybe
With three people in the relationship?
at least.
Oh.
And the reason I think it's okay. Well, hold on. Are you talking about a throuple, like living in the house with these people, or a person that kind of goes in
A
and out,
person
like
that
how
goes
you
in and
said,
out.
go 2 weeks?
A
I know
person in
people
and
that
out.
do that, or bring other people in, and they're fine.
No, he was talking about like a throuple where there's like the guy tries to be
Are
with
you
two.
sure?
I've seen it. I've
And
seen
it works.
Absolutely. Sometimes I think it's because one or other of the person in the relationship is so uneven,
Okay.
not weighted the same. And so I think one or the other person maybe feels like they kind of have to do that or kind of have to give in to these wishes. I know a lot of women, young girls that like get into that because they kind of feel like they had to keep this guy or to keep it fresh. They felt like pressure. So then if that's true, where are they going? They're not going anywhere, really.
So it ends up working, is what you're
But is
saying.
So
that
it
really
ends up. So it can
working?
end up working. I know very happy relationships where it works.
She
I wish
does
I
know
could
a
give you
lot of
guys
very
all the
famous
names and the
people.
What
tea.
do their names rhyme with?
No.
No,
No.
I can't.
You can't do that.
because I'm not even good at that. I'll say the name. I'll be screwed.
What are the initials?
No.
All right, let's move it along.
You know what, though? She does know a lot of really, really famous people. And I could see how maybe for really, really famous people, there's certain
Well, thank God we're not
exceptions.
really famous. Let's move it along.
Or guess what else? I've even had situations happen where I have friends and my friends, guys or girls, are like dating whoever, a guy or a girl. And they'll say, like, okay, I'll give you one example. One of my friends said he said he was dating this girl. And he was like, oh my God, I was dating this girl. And in her phone, like whatever, we went out and she was talking to another guy, so-and-so, who's like a very famous guy. We all know these people. And so she was talking to them, and I think she was in a relationship with them. So my date or my thing with her didn't really work out. And I realized that because they're my friends. And so I realized that they're living like an alternative life. So there's been cases where I didn't even know you were doing that, but I learned it because someone else was saying they lost their girl or their guy to this other situation. So I'm like, oh, I see how people are living. Okay. And I don't say anything when I see them. If they didn't tell me, I'm not going to say
Is it called a swinger? Is that a swinger?
It's kind of a swinger or kind of a throuple or kind of a threesome or kind of a menage a trois. I don't know. It's got some different names.
An arrangement? No.
Maybe.
Like
An
A
agreement.
situationship.
a situation.
Didn't somebody say that?
I mean,
Or something like that.
To each its own. I feel like
Just seems like a lot to manage.
It could also be called like an affair. It could also be called like a lot of things. We don't know where it falls on the spectrum,
okay.
but there's a spectrum. And I know both sides. I know some on the end where it like ruins their life. And I know other ones that they're like thriving.
Good for the ones that are thriving. What is the time and we're taking a tangent again. What is the time in your company, Baby Phat, where it like hit? What happened? What was something that rocked the company, or was it not an
Something good?
Yeah, like, or was it like a really slow build exponentially, or was it like something that someone
No.
wore?
Oh, so I don't think it was, no, it wasn't what someone wore because it was a lot of people wearing a lot of
Got
things. It was a time and it was a movement, and it's one of the best movements of our time, which was the late 90s and the early 2000s. To this day, people are dressing, wearing, like I literally have pulled out a bag to wear today. This is like an old Chanel bag. This has got to be at least 20 years old, you guys. Anybody who really knows their brands and their Chanel knows this bag. It's old as Methuselah. My point is, we're still chasing that 2000s vibe, the late 90s. So it was a movement. And I think what the movement was is a couple of things. But I think I was speaking to women, young women, single women, married women. And I was giving them, first of all, a lot of fashion because I was from all the high fashion runways. I'm giving you a lot of fashion and insight and style and flair for $1, for $1, right? My jacket is not like Chanel, one of my favorites. It's not a Chanel jacket. But I'm giving you kind of style and flair and design. So the girls felt like they were getting something. You maybe didn't get that Chanel, but you could get that Baby Phat jean. It's like a lifestyle. Maybe you couldn't afford this fancy watch, but you could get that sneaker, right? It's a lifestyle. And so I think that's why it kind of took off like wildfire. And to this day, it's like a time that we love. Like, think of the time that we came from, right? It's like Jay-Z and Beyonce. It's like, I don't know, think of that time. It was like super cool.
Oh, I remember it. And
to this day, it's still the good music, it's still the good clothes, it's still that Moschino belt. That Moschino belt that you have on, you could have bought it today, and you very easily could have bought it not 20 years ago because you don't look old enough, but someone could have gotten that belt 20 or 30 years ago. The chunky, the letter, the way the letters are, the block letters, like, come on, we know it. It's a time. And I came up in that time. So that was one thing. I gave them a lot of fashion. But the other thing I think is I gave women a voice. I gave them an independence. I gave them something that they could like aspire to, or like I was kind of like their girlfriend, everyone's homegirl. I gave them something else to look forward to and look up to about themselves that maybe they didn't have before on their own.
I also think like I used to watch your show. And how many years ago was your show?
A lot.
Okay, I used to watch it, and I remember 10. Being like younger and watching it and being like, that's a strong, I didn't have the word entrepreneur. I didn't have that word yet.
Yeah, me either.
But that's what I was, a strong blank. You were like one of the like sort of, I don't want to say first entrepreneurs, but you were in
it's like a mogul. I would say like a mommy model mogul. That was my thing. And it's so funny that you say, I didn't know that word. Or you asked me like, did you know the word entrepreneur? I think I learned it quickly just from being in like international fashion circles, and certainly from being in the music industry. And, you know, I think I've learned a lot. I've learned to emulate a lot. I grabbed like the bits and pieces that were fabulous.
What do you run with the company? Do you run the logistics, the operations? Are you picking all the fabrics? What is your
today?
Yes,
everything. So I built the company many years ago. Then we sold the company.
Okay.
And then recently I bought the company back. So it's kind of like a rebranding. I
didn't know that. So you bought it back.
Yeah.
So
like since like COVID.
Okay.
I remember
how long did you have
COVID.
the company when you sold it?
I don't know. Maybe, 10 years, 15 years.
Were you happy when you sold it, or did you miss
years.
it?
Oh, I was so sad. That was another thing I learned about business. You build things up to sell them and get rid of them. The worst thing that you could do, is to be emotionally attached to something great that you built and not be able to let it go and hold on to it long after it, the value has peaked.
Okay.
I've learned that. And I've also learned when you get rid of a company or a brand, or if you sell the name of this show, you can still go on to do other things because the value is in you too, not the two of you, not only the name. So if the two of you did this under that name, the two of you can do this under another name. I learned that. So once you leave or sell it, you don't want to try to come back and get it again.
So
because
what
it's
happened?
expensive.
You went back and got
I went back many, many years later.
Got it.
And then came this resurgence of Y2K. And, now you have like the Ice Spices of the world. You have Rihanna bought the whole Baby Phat past collection. She brought all the archives or vintage archive, whatever. She had someone go and get. So like, look at all the cool girls now that are still embracing Y2K. It's a thing still. It's in the pink that we wear, the lip gloss that we wear, the way that we style our hair, the Jordans that we wear. It's, look at Paris Hilton. I see her a lot. She's still embracing it. Like it's a movement.
So when you look back on everything, how you sold it and then you bought it back, you like the way that panned out. I'm asking for my own self with my own brand. I'm curious, like you like how you got rid of it. You took fresh energy.
It was very tough. I think when you get rid of a company, I stayed on then as an executive and creative director. It's very tough because now you work for someone else.
Right.
You work for yourself, but you work for someone else. And when people come in, I find that the name of the game for them is like to make the most money for the least amount of, input.
Right.
Whereas you were trying to give them all the quality and all the things and all the, do the business the right way. So I've noticed that when people sell their things, it tends to shift or sometimes decline, or the marketing is a little bit different. So you have to get your footing is what I'm saying. And then If you want it back and you can get it back, fine. Like I did do that many years later, but usually you don't want to go back and get it back. You want to do it again.
Are you happy now with getting it back? Are you like loving it?
I'm happy now, but I said it's been like through some COVID toughness.
Yeah.
And so it's just now starting to pick up and turn around and to be profitable, I guess, if you would. It's been a journey because you're putting everything in yourself and you're, it's Baby Phat is a legacy, brand, meaning I did it when I was a kid and now my kids are here doing it and my kids will have it and maybe even their kids, it's when you think of brands like that, it's one of them. Like if you think, I don't know, Ralph Lauren's been around for a long time, Tommy Hilfiger, Donna Karan. I've been around a long time. So it has many iterations.
How were you managing
like a cat.
Like a cat,
a Baby Phat cat.
Yeah. And if you guys are watching YouTube, she has a cat on her shirt. So go get excited.
Go get excited.
Yeah, it's a pink Baby Phat
And Hello
shirt.
Kitty, our daughter loves Hello Kitty.
Yeah, our daughter loves Hello
Anything
Kitty.
Hello Kitty.
Oh, how old is she?
She's 5 now.
She's 5.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing.
Everyone always asks me if I had to pick one product from Symbiotica, what it would be. And I have to say, and this is kind of across the board, I would go with their liposomal glutathione. I love this glutathione. It's my favorite. I think it absorbs the fastest. Like it has the fastest nutrient absorption I've ever seen. I can notice it right away. I like the citrus berry flavor. It comes in a little packet. I throw it in my purse. It's so easy. If you're unfamiliar with glutathione, it's all about glowing skin, anti-aging, and gut health benefits, which helps support bloating and digestion. And I need all the help that I can get with this pregnancy and digestion. If you're going to pick another product from Symbiotica, I would tell you to get their liposomal vitamin C. How I drink this is I just put it in my water in the morning. I'll like mix in my beauty salt, put it in my water and froth it up. Maybe add some lemon and I'm good to go. And vitamin C, especially theirs, is so good for collagen production and glowing skin and antioxidants. And it's an immunity booster. I have been a fan of this brand forever. It's one of my favorite brands that we work with. I take their supplements all the time and I gift them. Taking Symbiotica supplements is one of the easiest ways I've found to stay consistent with my health goals, even during a busy summer. Go to symbiotica.com/TSC today. You get 20% off plus free shipping. That's CYMBIOTIKA.com/TSC. You get 20% off plus free shipping.
Hello, everybody. Let's take a quick break in this show to talk about what's quickly become one of my favorite things of the summer, and that is Astral Tequila. Right now in front of me, I have Astral's Añejo, I have their Blanco tequila, and I have my personal favorite, their Reposado. Astral is my go-to tequila for margaritas at home, and it doesn't just taste good, it does good too. Every bottle of Astral Tequila helps build homes for families in need in Jalisco, Mexico. And after making the tequila, they upcycle leftover agave fibers into adobe bricks used to build homes in their community. How cool is that? So when you're sipping a marg, you're also supporting a great cause. Drink margs, do good. What could be better? Astral is an award-winning tequila that tastes good. And like I've said many times on this show, if I'm out and I'm choosing to drink, tequila is my drink of choice. I have it in a margarita. One thing that's also become quickly one of my favorite drinks is a tequila old fashioned. A lot of people think you can only do that with whiskey, but you can do that with tequila as well. Try it with the Añejo. You won't look back. You won't regret it. A little bit of an orange slice, really good. So if you're thinking about having a night out or maybe a little bit of day fun, try Astral. It is quickly emerging as one of the greatest tequilas out there, one of my favorite tequilas, and I highly recommend you try it as well. Housemarque summer is here. Time to stock up. Go to www.astraltequila.com to find Astral near you. And don't forget the limes. Please enjoy responsibly. Astral Tequila, 40% alcohol per volume. Diageo, New York, New York.
All right. I am craving Spritz Society, specifically the pink lemonade flavor. I had the opportunity of doing a Skinny Confidential flavor with Spritz Society. You may have heard of them. It's an award-winning canned cocktail brand founded by my girlies, Claudia and Jackie from the Toast podcast. So why I wanted to do a collab with this brand specifically is, of course, I love Claudia and Jackie, but also it's made with real white wine, real cane sugar, and 6 ingredients or less. So there's no artificial flavors. There's no fake sugars. It's just clean, simple, delicious cocktails. No BS. You should also know that each can only has 120 calories. How I like to drink this is I'll do a wine glass with a bunch of crushed ice in it. I'll pour the pink lemonade on top. It's so refreshing. I can't wait. Like I said, I'm getting there to have one, guys. And then I'll do a sprig of basil on top with a straw, and it's so delicious. It's the perfect summer cocktail. If pink lemonade is not your jam, they have lemon iced tea by Craig Conover from Southern Charm. They also have a pickle flavor and a peach flavor. They've really like nailed the flavors. And that shouldn't surprise you because they're the toast. On that note, you guys can head to spritzsociety.com to find a store near you. And don't forget to follow @Spritz on Instagram. They're always dropping exciting new flavors and throwing fun events. Spritz Society. Summer starts here. When you were building your brand and you were a mother, what did that look like? How did you deal with all the different things you were doing, and you were doing a reality show?
So I just was telling somebody this the other day. I didn't know at the time that I was doing it, what all I was doing. I didn't know that. I just thought it was normal. Mm-hmm. So I would bring my girls. I had 2 little girls because my boys didn't come till later. I had 2 little girls. I think that was maybe easier for me because they were like me, under me. I'm doing makeup, they're playing with the makeup. I'm trying on clothes, they're playing in the clothes. I'm wearing heels, they're playing in the heels. I think for me it worked. And they went everywhere with me. Like go to work with me. They would have a playroom or a playpen in my office. It was like take your kid to work day every day. Like how right now you are sitting here and pregnant, you have kids at home, you have kids here, it's fine. I didn't know that I was doing something. I only was just trying to do something. I didn't know until later. And also when you start to see your counterparts and what they're doing or not doing, that you start to realize it. You're just normally going through the stresses of your normal day. You don't realize you're doing something entrepreneurial, or you don't realize then that working women don't usually have time for family and are not afforded and allowed to stop and have a family. You don't realize that. You don't realize a lot of the shit that I've realized after the fact.
It sounds like your whole career has been just like you throw yourself in and you're almost naive about it and you just make it work.
I throw myself in. I'm naive about the goodness of it. Like I might not know the success or the impact until later.
Huh.
But when I'm throwing myself in, I'm kind of carrying a village with me, which is like a village of, like I said, women, young women, single women, divorcees. When I was younger, they were young girls like me. They were moms. They were young moms like I was. So I feel like I always have like the city on my back. Like the girls are kind of with me. So I'm also fighting for them. I'm building something. I'm teaching them something. I'm showing them something. I'm giving them something else. Another lifestyle, a way of life, something to aspire to. I think for me, it's always about like building.
How are your kids so smart?
I don't know.
I've heard this from multiple people.
I think it comes from the mom.
It's all the mom. What?
And I think that's scientifically proven.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think so.
Huh.
You can look it up.
Yeah.
It's a
I agree.
scientifically proven thing that the intelligence comes from the mom.
How
I swear.
are they? Have they
I'm
always been smart like this since they were little, or is it something that you noticed later on?
Too smart. They're too smart when they're young.
Lauren
like
told
even
me, is this true that they're like genius level smart? Is this
Yeah.
really true, or is because
This is what I've
really?
heard.
so they're all my kids are geniuses.
But,
Like, she's
really,
not
like-
being
No,
funny,
like
you
really,
guys.
like when they were younger, Ming and Aoki, that's the first 2. They went to Merman.
Okay.
Merman is the only gifted school certified in, I think, California or LA. So you have to actually take an IQ test and rank at a certain number above.
Like you can't pay your way in.
50 or 60. No. It's an IQ based thing.
Okay.
So all of my kids have taken this test and scored off the charts, and the 2 younger ones actually went to Merman,
Wow.
which we love.
And then one of
So I
them went
think
to
it's like-
Harvard. Is this correct at a young age or something?
So Aoki, she's 22 now. She graduated Harvard at 20, I think, or 21.
Oh, they're really
Michael, I'm
geniuses.
telling you, I
and
tried
she
to
got
tell
in
him
at
this.
15.
Harvard, I'm not allowed 50 feet within Harvard. They're like, don't even come near us.
Wait, how does she even know to apply to Harvard at 15 years
Because
old?
they went to Merman. So I think it's like a kind of a,
What do they do in Merman? Like, what do they?
it's a
what's-
gifted school. It's kind of a prep school. So you definitely are allowed to like push to the maximum of your creativity or the maximum of your intelligence. There's no such thing as like you're this age and you're in this grade. If you can do, a billion more math levels up, go for it.
So they don't like
let
throttle you back and say, hey, you're good.
No. Our system is set up very much like you're this age, you're in this grade. That's how it has to be. You call a school. How old are you? Okay, we put them in this class. They don't care that some are below that level and some are above that. And you're either in the middle or you're struggling or you're bored. That's how it is in the classroom.
How did you know though to put them in this school? Like where did you see like, wait, my kids are gifted?
So I learned it only when they were in elementary school and certainly for Aoki, because she started even younger. Ming graduated as well from NYU, but she was on normal time. She didn't go like 3 or 4 years early. But I think it was because my kids sometimes were struggling in school.
Yeah.
And almost like a little bit bullied, because like you're off reading your textbooks at playtime. You don't really have friends. Your goals and your interests are kind of not what they're doing at the school. What they think is cool, you don't think is cool. You're studying history, they're playing with toys. You know what I mean? So I started to see that because they would get kind of bullied. And I would do research, and actually my littlest Wolf, he's 10, his dad, also my husband, another husband, when I met him said, do you see, how the girls are in school and the troubles they have? Do you know that gifted kids are oftentimes treated or kind of ostracized or so you should test them for being gifted. And I did, and they were off the charts. And so then I switched to trying to find an institution of learning, Merman, that kind of catered to my kids and their like differences. Certainly for Aoki, because again, she was the younger one. She started younger on this journey. But I tried to, you as a mom, you want to go where if your kids are great at doing Legos, you're going to want to find a Lego school or an engineering something or you just try to put them in the atmosphere where they can thrive.
And did they thrive right when they got in?
For sure. And all the other kids, when they graduated Merman, they're like going on to like grad school even or college level. Our kids were going to high school level. These kids were skipping that and going to college. And Yoki could have too, but I didn't want her to do that because like you can't even get a job.
Did she go to Harvard, the school, at 15, or is she taking it online?
No, she went to school 4 years. She got in at 15, so I think you get accepted, right? And then you go that fall or whatever. So I think her birthday's in August, so she probably was 16 when she went, but she got in at 15. And
then Ming models too, right?
Both model.
Both model.
Both went to school. Both have graduated. And then what? Now we're trying to figure it out.
And do they like modeling as much as they like academics?
So Yoki loves her academics.
Okay.
Mingy, not so much, even though she's super smart as well and got really good grades, but I don't know if they love the process as much. Modeling, Yoki wanted it so bad. And I think it's probably proven because the people can be a little bit different and shallow and whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that has proven difficult for her. Whereas Mingy didn't want it as much and kind of found herself stumbling into it, and is doing well. Both are doing well. Yoki was on the cover of September Teen Vogue.
Can you show us a picture of this?
Let me see.
That's so cool. Wow.
But I told
My
you.
mom never tested me for Merman.
I think I have a theory that Michael's gifted, and I haven't talked about it on the podcast.
Oh, you have to.
And there's this
Your
book.
son or you? No, wait. Do you have a son?
Yes.
Your son.
No. Him.
Oh, you.
I think he's gifted. She's like, I don't think so.
Okay, no, I don't know the picture. I don't choose that, but this is
That's amazing.
This is her Vogue cover.
So cool.
I don't know why she's like looking down and up at the camera
so
like
cool.
that, but
That's amazing.
and it was supposed to be, I think, like a little ode to Chanel. I think she's wearing Chanel, and I think it's like a Chanel look, so it's like an ode to me and Chanel. So it was kind of like very sweet. Like then the pictures get.
Is
kind
it
of major.
weird to see your children modeling for you?
Very.
Yeah.
Did
And
you
for
want
me,
them? Did you
not
want
so
them to
much.
do it?
For me, not so much because we've done everything as a family. They've come out on the runway with me, and so for me, not so much. But to see you go out in the world and subject yourself to a casting where they're going to look at you and make you strip down and jump in circles and clap your hands 5 times and then look at you and say, "Oh, you're too fat and you're the size of a string bean," or "You're too ugly." It's a lot. And to have to hear those things about yourself, whatever you thought you were, you're not. And it's tough. So I think as a mom, I didn't really want that for them, but too late now. They're in it.
I know, but maybe they'll probably do other things with it. There's so many things to do now.
Definitely. I don't think that you go into modeling to like stay into modeling. I don't think so. And I feel like Yoki is like obviously super bright. She's worked in the mayor's office. I feel like she's a politician. Her degree, she has a double major at Harvard. So one is political science and the other is history. So I feel like she's a politician.
She's going to have to marry someone who's real smart.
It's not gonna be able to be a staring contest for sure.
We can't have a staring contest.
No, we can't have a staring contest. She just doesn't want a staring contest.
And Mingy's like a spoiled princess, and I feel like her thing is more business. I can see her getting an MBA. I can see Yoki being a lawyer.
And what about your sons?
So they're younger. Wolfie's 10, and I have Kenzo and Gary. They're 15.
Okay. They're twins.
Not twins, but people always think they're twins. But Gary was adopted from Jamaica.
Okay.
A personal adoption, so we are all family and friends.
But they're both 15.
They're both 15.
So 2 15 and 10.
2 freshmen. Yeah, they're both freshmen in high school, and they're amazing in sports. Gary plays football, and Kenzo plays basketball. And Kenzo, he's a freshman, but he's on varsity.
And he's 6'8".
And he's 6'8", and they just won the D1 championship for varsity ball.
I mean, all he has to do is walk up and go like this.
And he's the youngest one on the team, and he's the tallest one in the school.
See, I had the reverse problem. I got there and I was playing football. I was like 115 pounds.
Michael was 4'1".
And some guy that was like 6'10", 300 pounds just literally didn't even try to tackle me. He just literally stepped over me and crushed me into the floor. And I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, football, I find
Finished.
you have to be really strong and really tough. It's
Sorry.
a lot of
Good day.
concussions going on.
Well, I mean, I was
You
in
might
there.
be gifted, though. We'll get you tested at Merman.
No, Lauren's on this big thing where it's like
No,
she
he is. This
she-
is what
Well,
happens.
it's just a psych. It's just a psych test or an IQ test. It's not at Merman, but it's for Merman. But any doctor, like a
Can do it.
psychiatrist or a psychologist, yeah.
So I was driving the other day.
not to-
This is true. I was driving the other day and I had a premonition literally come from nowhere saying Michael's gifted about him. And then it said Michael's gifted again. And then it said pull over and Google gifted. I'm not lying. I'm very intuitive when I'm pregnant. See,
I think so.
I'm a clairvoyant.
Well, I will say
Clearly.
So I went home and I started Googling all about it. And he hits, and I don't know about his IQ, but he hits every single thing it says. Like
That's not just like a happenstance.
Well,
That's
she
not
was
by chance.
She
I
was
believe.
telling all her friends that maybe something was off with
No,
me.
no, I wasn't. One of my
No,
friends was
something can seem a little off. That's why when you were saying how smart are your kids, and I was like, they are as smart as they drive me crazy.
But they were not saying nice things about me being off. They were. It wasn't like these were not complimentary. I was like,
They're
I don't-
not
I was-
saying complimentary things.
Yeah, I
about
was
my
like, I
kids all
don't
the
think.
time. It's
but-
like a double-edged sword.
When you read the list of gifted things, though, it
Was it
resonated.
Well,
you?
to be well, okay.
Like what?
To be clear, though, it's not about it was not about an IQ thing as much as it's about a thought process thing. And
I
the,
think
and
so.
the
I
way
agree
that
with
like
that.
somebody organizes their thought process compared to somebody.
I can see that. Yeah.
He's
That's all kind of a part of
rapid
it.
deep learning. High cognitive capacity, huge. Highly developed reasoning. They're huge readers. He reads probably an hour to 2 hours a day. Curious, strong moral compass, but there's negatives too. There's perfectionism, and he has the perfectionism going on.
well, I'm quarter Japanese. That's a part of it.
Yes. Self-criticism. It's
That's also.
you're part Japanese.
I'm
He's
Japanese Korean.
My grandma was full
My
Japanese.
Asian is Japanese.
I'm
Korean.
quarter. My mom's half Japanese. I didn't get a lot of the traits. My sisters have the hair. I don't.
You
I
found
maybe
it.
could see it because I have guys in my family that look like you.
If I showed
But
you my
yeah.
grandma, she passed. My grandma's name was Michiko,
Michiko.
and she was a tiny Japanese woman.
Oh,
and when
yeah.
people would see me, they're like, "Who the hell is that?" I'm like, "That's my grandma." I'm like,
Yeah, yours is just a little watered down.
"Yeah, it's a little watered
It
down."
happens. I have Wolfie. Wolfie looks a lot like you.
Yeah, it's just
Huh.
Wait, look at my son. This
Yeah,
is
let's
so
see your
crazy.
son.
My
There's
little one.
there's a potential for difficulties in social settings,
That's-
which he
that's
had
for
when
sure.
That's
he had
me.
when we were young. I don't know. There's this book. I'm sure that you've heard about it. It's called The Gifted. I think it's called The
Look at
Gifted
how
Adult.
crazy this is. So the little one is Wolfie and the big one is Kenzo.
Oh,
And these are my biological
Gosh,
kids.
you guys,
It's crazy, right?
is this like on social media? Have you ever posted them?
Oh, yeah, I posted them. Not this particular picture. This was at Wolf's party the other day, but I
Your
post them, yeah.
sons
The
are-
world knows them. Kenzo's on my show before.
Oh,
He was
my
born on the show.
God. Oh, that is so cute. They're like your men.
And his hair is dyed there, so it'd be a little bit darker.
Who needs a boyfriend?
Oh,
I
that's
have my
totally-
son. I don't like. I'm good. I'm gonna just have him live
Someone
with me.
just told me I
at
was
some
in
point you
love
have to
with
let go of that shit. You're
Kenzo.
gonna-
I mean, that's
The boy
okay.
you're gonna raise is gonna be soft as hell. She sings him this song where he's gonna live with us
5.
forever. I'm like, no,
No,
he's not.
I say he's living with his mom for the rest of his life.
Oh.
No one but his mom.
You wanna know
he
what's-
loves
you
his
know-
mom.
You want to
I
know who's
think
gonna
I
get
should've done
bullied?
that.
You want to know who's gonna get bullied?
See?
You want to know who's gonna get bullied? Our son, if you don't cut that shit.
So
Well, you
Another-
have to have a balance, I think so. Because Kenzo is balanced. He's into his sports. He's on the team. You know, he has his teammates. He's a very good boy. He's not like you said soft. He's not soft.
What is it?
But he's very kind and sweet and smart, and I love him so
He
much. So
sounds
it's a balance.
perfect.
You know what? When you're
Let's introduce him to Zaza
listen,
when she's older.
when you're 6'15", you don't have to be. You don't have to be.
That's 7 foot
You don't have to.
something.
Of course, he's not soft when he's 6'8".
But I had to teach him the opposite then, though. I had to kind of speak to that. I probably shouldn't do this as a parent. It's probably like some kind of discriminatory, but I had to say things to him coming up. Obviously, this was only in the past few years because you're not that tall as a baby. But the past few years, I would find myself saying like, you can't don't act like that. You're too big to act like that.
So
Stop screaming and having this tantrum like that. Like, look at you. People from far away think that you're an adult. So I probably have done some of these things that you shouldn't do. You shouldn't say, look at you, look at how you're acting, or don't cry. You shouldn't say that to a boy.
Gentle parenting says you can't say anything now.
Oh, girl.
I know.
I'm from St. Louis. I am not gentle parenting.
No.
My kids got their ass beat. They've also handed me my ass, not physically, but I'm saying they've kicked my ass too. I'm cursing. I'm screaming. I'm throwing things. You're not going to have a black eye, but you're going to be grounded and have gotten an ass whooping, like what you need.
How do you manage to raise children that confident and not spoiled? Because you have.
They're spoiled.
Okay, but
They're spoiled. To me, I think all of us think maybe that our kids are super spoiled and a little bit entitled to us as the parents, I'm saying, right? Like they are entitled to.
Compared to the way you came up.
And also just their access to you. They feel like you can do it, you can handle it, you can solve it. My mom, you just got done saying he's never going to leave, he's always going to live with his mom. So that comes with my mom can do it. My mom's going to handle it. My mom and dad, yeah. And so then as they're older, you're like, hello, you're like the broke bestie.
Lauren goes
like
on
when
every
you're gonna
podcast,
be on your own and do
she
your own
goes,
thing.
the number one trait I'm going to get in my kids is resilience. By the way, you're going to live with me for the rest of your life.
He's
I'm like,
two.
what the
I
fuck?
can
We
see it
do
for a
have
while.
to teach our kids resilience.
I know.
think a lot of that has gone out the window over the decades.
Agreed.
This workforce, this generation, they're very different.
It is very different.
Mine included. Like I'll go ahead and just bundle all the kids up. Now yours are younger, and I'm talking about that 25-year-old, 20-something-year-old. It's tough.
That's what I'm hearing.
Generationally, like if you
I'm
hire
hearing
them, they don't
2 days
act
a
like
week.
how I acted when I was younger.
Yeah.
They don't want it like how I want it. I find sometimes like I can't even hire someone great to help me. They don't want to do it. They don't want to come to work. They don't want to speak. And we're all over the place on our podcast, but sometimes I say these things because I want people to pick up these bites and like, don't do that. You have to want it. You have to want something more than I want it for you, people. You have to want something for yourself. You have to study. You have to put into the work. You have to show up. You have to do these things. Your parents can't do it. Your friends can't do it. Your friends' parents can't do it. It's not going to be handed to you on a platter, even though you may think it. Some people are kind of silver platter kind of people, and some are not. The platter's not there, really. You have to kind of get in and do the work and get your hands dirty.
You've got to have grit. We've had 3 people, maybe 4 on the podcast this week that have all said what you're saying, which is you're not going to be able to do it. Like you're not going to have an exceptional life working 2 days a week. Don't expect an exceptional life working 2 days a week for a couple hours a day.
Rick Caruso was on right before you.
Oh, okay.
And he was just going off on this about,
I bet he would. I'm sure he would.
Well, he's like, you got to get in the office. You got to
do something.
work.
And that's why I always encourage kids to get an education. Even if it's not a formal education, get out there and learn something, study something, be an understudy, help someone. When I came up, I'm older than you guys, but when we came up, and I'm that person that's like, back in my day, you would work for free. You would prove yourself and hope to get a job. You would come in as an intern and hope one day to run the company. And you can. That's what dreams were made of. That's the American dream. Nowadays, it might be a different American dream. But when I came up, it was a different American dream. You could work for yourself. You could pull yourself up. You could make something of yourself. You could create these opportunities from nothing.
Yeah, it's funny, like running, we're doing the show, but running this business, people come into like the first things they ask, okay, I'm going to just do a little of this. How do I make money? How do I make money? And it's weird
crazy
for me because Lauren and I started this show and we didn't make a dime for years. And we were working other jobs and doing other things. while we were doing this thing for nothing, right? It was just like you
Same.
have to put the groundwork
You have
in.
to put your
I
work
put
in.
my own money in it. I own my own time. I'm building.
And it's funny
I'm
now because
failing.
it's like
Yeah.
it's
getting
this,
back up.
It's this
It's part of
attitude
it.
where people, I mean, listen, don't even just take this, but any creative endeavor, they want to know how much money first before they take the chance. I'm like, so let me get this straight. You want to be able to work on your own terms, on your own schedule, live the life you want to live.
Yes, they don't
but
even
you
want to come
be
to work.
paid for it first before you decide. Like that's just not. It's not realistic.
I agree. And you know what I think also did it? I think in a lot of ways, this was just like not a good time. COVID. So that means I'm talking about recent years, not just 10 years ago or,
Well,
I think
feel-
that was a time because then you started working at home and then
In your
I
pajamas.
saw things change. I saw things because I was one of them because
Yeah.
I had reacquired my brand. I saw people fall off because they could not translate or transfer their business to online. They could not talk to people like how you guys can communicate with people over this thing. They didn't know how to translate their brand to these social media platforms and being on the phone and taking your conference calls or maybe doing a podcast from your house. They didn't get it. So I saw people just like die off and I saw other people that were adaptable. And then we saw other people that just
That's a good
flourished.
I'm
quality
also
to be
though
adaptable.
empathetic now as the years have passed to
Totally.
people that started their first job or got out of college and started their career in those circumstances and thought that those were
No,
the
that's
real
not.
circumstances.
But guess what?
Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, there are kids that
Like meaning like they didn't
couldn't
know
go
any
in the
different.
classroom.
Yeah,
It's
Or
horrible.
like they start a job and it's like, hey, you just work from your house and do what you want. And
Do what you want. Show up in your pajamas.
But that was their reality. Like, but this is what work is supposed to be like. When many of us who had never worked that way, that was a
No.
huge adjustment. I'm like, that is nothing like what it's really been like.
And you know what? Like I never showed up to work in my pajamas.
Oh, don't even get
When
Michael
we
started.
came up,
Is this a Japanese thing? You guys
maybe.
go off.
You know, we used to have something like what is it called? Free Dress Friday or Casual Friday. Yeah,
No,
that tells you that
but
you're supposed to
Casual Friday is like, you're maybe like in like a shirt.
be. Now
or
it's like a fashion show.
Oh,
Casual Friday now is for these kids dressy.
yeah, Casual
it was-
Friday.
I don't think I've known him for 600 years. I've
So
ever
how
seen
long
you
have
relax.
you guys known each other?
Since we were 12.
Oh shit.
I know, but we haven't been together that
I
long.
haven't been
Oh,
there that
you're
long.
working the farm, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Where the hell do you think you're going?
Put your
Yeah.
sweats on, bitch.
You're working the farm. We're
I-
going to put up like an electrical fence around you. You're not getting out of here ever.
At the end of the day, I really do have no say. You're 100% right.
You know,
but
you have to watch what you say on podcasts because, like how I said, I'm going to put the fence around you. You're never going to get out. They'll play this back some long time from now and like say, see, she said then that she was going to do that. And now she's kidnapped someone else currently. And look, that's how life is.
I've never seen you ever since you were 12 years old show up in I don't even want looking sloppy. He's always like
Yeah.
he's very anal about being put together.
I love that.
Me on the other hand,
But you're very put together now.
Today.
I'm not saying that I'm not put together. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not slouchy sometimes, but I'm saying
at work.
I am never slouchy when I need to show up and make a difference or show up and put my back. Putting your best foot forward is not in a fuzzy slipper, you guys.
that is one thing with my grandma. Like,
And
if
it
you,
doesn't have to be some fancy, expensive thing we're talking
just
about
like,
here.
just put
make
together.
it clean, put it together, be presentable, feel something about yourself, kids. What do you feel for yourself in your fuzzy slippers and your plaid pajama pants?
Yeah, if I and,
There's
you know,
so many of those in my house.
my grandmother, like if you weren't on point and like not okay, you have to be like-
Japanese
if you-
grandmas will not play that.
No. Like if my sister's
They're
trying to do
meticulous.
that, she would not just like say like, "Hey, what's going?" Like, it wasn't a nice delivery. It was like,
But also culturally,
yeah, it was not
they're
happening.
meticulous. I mean, they're very regimented and even rigid, they might say. Culturally, I think
You know what
that's
she did when she passed away? Literally that same day, she went and got her hair done, dialed in, just went to sleep. That was it.
I love it. I think that might be me.
Like fully just got her
Not
hair
now,
done.
though. I'm not ready now, but one
Oh,
day.
man.
And I will write. I'm going to write out my own stuff, my own like will and everything. I'm going to do that
I love that.
because I'm going to tell the kids, I don't want to be on a T-shirt.
She was
Don't
more put
fucking
together
make
dead
a
than half the
T-shirt
people.
of me.
You don't want a
I
t-shirt.
want my. You know how people make T-shirts? They
T-shirt.
look
No,
like
like a
there's
t-shirt.
halos around. It looks like a concert
Yeah,
T-shirt.
I know what she's talking about. T-shirt.
I know black people do that.
Okay, it's t-shirt.
We do that. Not so much the Asian side, but don't make a T-shirt of me. I want full hair and makeup. If I'm sick and even a little bit starting to decline, I need a contract that my kids know I need to like maintain a little bit.
Oh, you're
It
saying a
doesn't have to be
T-shirt
full-
with your
Wait,
face
do
on
you
it.
want
When you pass away,
on the
sometimes
cover.
people want to make these things.
do you want Anna to give
To
you
celebrate.
a pedicure scrub before? Maybe
I don't need a scrub.
a head spa. Maybe.
I want hair and makeup and nails.
So do I.
if you're deceased, you don't need the scrub because then the skin. That's
Who's in
be-
charge of that? We gotta make
I'm
sure.
going to write it down. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. You have to write it in your will. Now, I know that sounds a little bit morbid to people, but again, I'm saying this for a reason. I'm saying it because I want people to know that you have to think about planning or what happens if you're gone or if you have children. You have to think about it. You can't be the type that's like, oh, I don't want to think about it. Nothing's ever going to happen. It will. Well, one thing for
And you
sure is
wanna
that we're
look
not
good.
going to be here forever. So you want to look good. You want your affairs to be looked after. More importantly, you want your affairs, your business to be, you want your kids to be okay. You want them to have some
God forbid your
some
last.
lessons, maybe a little coins that you left behind. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
At this point,
Organize
God forbid
yourself.
your last days in the sweatsuit, and that's what you go out in.
I won't do that.
Quick break to talk about Element. One of the things that drove me nuts prior to learning about Element and proper electrolyte ratios and getting hydrated properly was the amount of water I would drink that would not solve the issue that I was trying to solve, which is dehydration. I used to suffer from all these migraines. I would get this midday slump. I would get tired, and it's because I was drinking a ton of water, but I was not getting the proper electrolyte mix. This is why Element is such a game changer. Element is a zero sugar electrolyte drink mix and sparkling electrolyte drink born from the growing body of research revealing that optimal health outcomes occur at sodium levels 2 to 3 times government recommendations. Each serving delivers a meaningful dose of electrolytes, and Element is formulated for anyone on a mission to restore health through hydration and is perfectly suited for athletes, folks who are fasting, or those following keto, low carb, whole food, or paleo diets. I love that they come in these individualized serving packets that you can take to the office. You can take them when you're traveling. You can take them to the gym. Typically, the way that I try to enjoy Element is every time I go to work out and I know I'm going to be sweating, I add Element to my drink prior and then drink it throughout the workout. This is going to help me not deplete my hydration levels, stay energized, stay focused, and avoid that midday slump. They have so many great flavors, and this summer they introduced their lemonade salt, so you can squeeze the most out of summer with Element's new limited time lemonade salt. It's salty, tart, and refreshing. It brings you the best of summer wherever you are, and it's obviously formulated with Element's science-backed electrolyte ratio. So check them out right now. Element is offering a free 8-count sample pack of their most popular drink mix flavors with any purchase. This is a great way to find your favorite Element flavor or share it with a friend. Get yours at drinkelement.com/skinny. This deal is only available through our link. You must go to drinklmnt.com/skinny.
Do you want to unlock hand-picked recommendations and VIP perks like room upgrades, late checkouts, and resort credits at over 7,000 preferred hotel partners? Well, I have you covered. Travel agents are back, baby, and Fora is the modern travel agency. Fora advisors have access to the best training, best partners, and best tech, all strengthened by their global community of insiders who share knowledge so you can have the best trip. If you want to take a trip with your husband or your sister or your college friend and you want to go to like a wellness retreat or a couples trip or a ski adventure, they really have you covered. Maybe you're drowning in information and browser tabs and you're feeling paralyzed and you're not sure how to pick the best one. They have all your confirmation numbers handy, room preferences squared away, and they're the ones to make sure you're picked up at the right airport terminal, even when your flight is 4 hours late. They really cover everything. Fora unlocks access to the training, community, tech, and hotel partners you need to succeed as a travel entrepreneur too. So whether you're looking to plan a trip or build business planning trips, visit foratravel.com/skinny and let them know you came from Skinny to learn what it means to travel upgraded. That's FORA travel.com/skinny and let them know you came from Skinny, because great travel doesn't just happen, it's planned. I sleep hot. I like the room to be 67 degrees, and I don't like the heat to disrupt my sleep. I'm very, very specific about that, especially in the summer in Austin. So enter Bull & Branch. Bull & Branch best-selling percale sheets. You'll never sleep hot again. They're made with a special cooling weave in the finest 100% organic cotton. One thing about me too is I spend so much time in bed. I love my bed. I read in my bed every night. I eat in my bed. Michael gets mad. I have a bed tray. I work in my bed sometimes. I love my bed, and I have to have 100% organic cotton sheets. So I love that these are organic cotton. And these sheets, when I feel them, they feel crisp to the touch, and they're breathable to sleep in, which is really important. So you're not going to run hot, and they offer cool comfort that lasts all night, even for the sweatiest of sleepers. Feel the difference that cool comfort can make with Boll & Branch's 30-night guarantee. All you have to do is grab your mouth tape, put your Kindle on dark mode, get a little red light going, and grab your new Percale sheets. You'll never sleep hot again. Feel the difference an extraordinary night's sleep can make with Boll & Branch. Get 15% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets at bullandbranch.com/skinny. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com/skinny to save 15%. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
How is my skin? You know what? This sunscreen, it's caffeinated, it's mineral, and it does not pile under makeup. I applied it today with a damp beauty blender before I got my glam done, and it lays so nicely under like a foundation or a concealer. But here's the thing that I like the most about it. So when I'm off work and when I don't have to do podcasts or Instagrams or content, or I just can just be comfortable, I can wear this caffeinated sunscreen and I still get a really nice tint and a protection. And it looks like my skin is all one even tone, which is nice without all the makeup. It's not like a foundation. It's like the caffeine tightens your skin. It gives you a nice even tone and it just gives you a little bit of color. So what I like about this sunscreen is the versatility. So you can wear it when you're off and you're running around and you're running errands and wear it with nothing over it. Or you can wear it like I'm wearing today right now with foundation and concealer over it. So it works both ways. I will wear this when I'm going to the gym in the morning and just wear it throughout the day with nothing else, or I will wear it with a full look. I created this sunscreen because I couldn't find a mineral-based sunscreen with caffeine in it. Caffeine tightens the skin, it shrinks the pores, and I just like how it lays on the skin. And I mixed it with a mineral sunscreen, and then we made it SPF 40. So it's a real treat. I think that you guys will absolutely love it. It just comes out in a pump, fits in your handbag, and it can go through the airport. You can shop this at shopskinnyconfidential.com, and it's the caffeinated SPF. Also, if you're like me and you go through sunscreen quickly, you can subscribe, and the sunscreen will get delivered straight to your door, so you don't have to worry about it. That's shopskinnyconfidential.com.
At this point, what does it take to date you?
Oh my God.
How do you even find a contender?
So I did say this thing, like I would say, I want to date someone that has more than me. And I realized that's tough.
Like money wise or
Everything wise.
everything wise. Like you
But
can
then
learn
I started to learn that was a lot. So then I changed to,
that eliminates 90%.
it does eliminate some.
There is no
So
one
I
left.
changed to have what I have
Okay.
equal to me.
Okay.
But I don't really like equal. And I'm not like a 50-50 person. I want to be kind of totally looked after and taken care of. And having said that, I am the highest maintenance person for myself. I maintain myself and all of my children and my family. So what I am asking of someone else, I do for myself, and I am happy to continue doing it for the rest of my days. I'm not asking for something that I don't have.
That's really self-aware, by the way. A lot of people, they want a 10, but they're not a 10.
Yeah, no.
If you're gonna,
And I don't even mean by looks.
no, we're not talking about
Okay,
looks.
okay, because I
We're
don't
not
need
talking
you to
about
be a
looks.
10 in
We're talking
looks.
about like if you're self-aware and you're like, I'm an 8, then go for an 8. But if you're a 10 and you sound like you're a 10 in every area.
Some people are going to be off in their numbers, their math. This is all wrong. Because
Well,
what if you think you're 8 and my friend, you are a 4?
Okay, let's take you. So
With 2 teeth and they're crooked. What are you going to do?
you're a 10 and you're looking, what you're saying is for a 10 because you're a 10 and that's what you're giving off. So
In
you should
my
attract
mind,
it.
in my mind, I
Okay.
am. I think so. You can't always. I think I am. You should think you are. I don't know what other people might think, right? Some people might be like, you're
I'm a 10.
we think we are. Do
We're a
you
10.
think she's a 10?
yes.
Yeah. I
What
think
the fuck?
Michael-
How else am I going to answer that?
Mike-
Did she
Michael's a
kick you
10.
under the table?
I don't know.
Michael's a 10.
Yeah.
I feel like you
Oh,
attract.
so you guys are equally,
We're
you're evenly yoked.
He might be a
That's sweet.
9.5.
I think she's a 10.
I think you're
I'm good
kind
for
of cute,
9.5.
but
I'm
I'm
good
going
for
to have to
9.5.
say
Yeah.
9.5. I'm going to have to
I'm
go
good
with
at
it.
9.5.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, I think I'm an 8. And I'm good being an 8. It's
An
good.
8?
Eight's
No,
good.
now this is just self-deprecation.
Yeah, I don't love this.
It's
You're
good.
getting ready to
You know,
go
like,
too
okay.
low.
Yeah.
You know good and damn well you're not an 8.
I think like a Brad Pitt's like a 9.5.
Pitt is a
Yeah, Brad Pitt's a 10.
No. But I'm saying like Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you
10
don't think I'm a 10?
Yeah, 10 is not
You
it.
don't think I'm a 10?
Okay,
From
but
a
that
9.5?
doesn't mean no. But here, no. You have to gauge it though. If he doesn't have 10s in his life, that might mean the maximum for you is a 9. No, correct. So
You know
that
the
he
only
might
10?
think you're a 9 because a 9 is the maximum for him.
No.
That feels like scarcity
The
mindset.
only 10 in my book
It could be.
is Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is a 10.
You look like Tom Cruise.
Oh gosh, no.
Okay, not
Did you
in,
set that up?
no,
But
not
Tom Cruise is vertically
not in looks.
not.
I make
I'm
this
just saying,
argument all
he's-
the time. Tom Cruise is a 10 because
All right.
there is no higher than you can go in the celebrity world. Think about it. Who's higher? I'm saying
In terms of what?
in terms of everything.
Kevin Costner.
No, doesn't count.
I think Kevin Costner's. Sorry.
No way. Think about it. Okay, if you're out and you're running about.
Sean Connery.
No, hold on. Sean Connery he's dead, but he would have been.
Okay, you have to be, you want only people
Let's
that
settle
are.
the debate. Okay. I've thought about this a lot. If you are out and about and you're and you're just running around town,
I'm gonna go
Tom
get
Cruise
short Tom Cruise.
is the white whale. You don't see him out and about running around or anything. Plus, he's still relevant. Plus, his movies are all good. And you can name
Michael, I
40
feel
of
like
them.
you
You're
have
just
a
saying
crush
this
on
because
Tom.
we said you look like Tom.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think that you
What is
are
going on?
But like, if you
projecting
see Kevin Costner, like that's a good sighting, but that's not a Tom Cruise sighting. Think about it. Think about it.
If I saw Elton John, now I'm in a whole nother category, but I'm going to say the same thing. I'm going to be excited.
No,
That's a lavender marriage.
you're going to be excited, but you're not going to be shocked.
Yeah, we would be shocked. I would be shocked if I saw Elton John.
That's
Right.
scarcity mindset. He's
Yeah,
just saying
I know.
because Tom never really leaves the house and doesn't walk around to get
I
Starbucks.
also
Because
think
then what
he's-
about Eddie Murphy? I don't know.
I think he thinks he's like Tom Cruise or
No,
something,
I
so
don't.
he's
I'm
like
just saying
projecting
nobody's
that
been
onto
able to really, like people say, oh, what about like?
I feel a little Tom Cruise thing coming from you.
Yeah.
A little Ryan Gosling. Could it be Ryan Gosling?
No, not on a
Christian Bale.
No, not on a looks deal.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
Christian
a good
Bale.
one.
Yeah.
Not
That's
on
what
a
he looks
looks
like.
deal.
I
I'm
think he
just
looks like
talking
So
about.
we know who your celebrity crush is.
It's not Christian Bale.
Okay, no, not that type.
Yeah, I
James
like Tony
Gandolfini is
Soprano.
different, yeah.
I like the illusion of Tony Soprano. I
See?
definitely would have married him.
See?
I definitely could have been like a sopranita or whatever that's called,
See?
the head of the family. I don't know.
Don't you like
no,
the-
a sopranita is a little sopra.
The
Okay.
power of
Soprano.
him.
We'll
I
bring
could
it
have been
back- we'll bring
it
a
back
around.
mama soprano.
I need to understand
The
what,
missus.
at this point in your life what your list is.
It's tough.
You
I don't know.
don't know.
What does someone have to
Like,
do to
give
get
me
your
a list.
attention?
I don't know. I thought we could put it out into the ether.
I should. This is bad. This is bad. I should.
I know.
I feel bad. My friends are going to be like, "What were you thinking?"
Smart.
Okay, I'm going
Like,
to
what
put it out
catches
into
your
the
eye?
ether.
Yeah.
Like that's interesting. I haven't seen that before.
I don't know. You guys
See-
have to give me some choices that I
Okay,
can say yes or no.
Do they need to be? Do you want them public? Not public people.
That's a good one.
I don't really want public, but I
Okay.
don't mind. And that's
Okay.
only because I've had all my marriages, which is most of my relationships, have been quite public.
I think if I were picking for you, I would say a little bit more
Younger
private.
or older?
I'd think
I am
both.
definitely at that age where it can go either way. You could have
that's
the
how I feel.
daddy and the son.
Uh-huh.
Don't get it twisted.
I feel that. I feel it could go either way. But
And that's not even being funny. That's just being normal age group. Normal age
I
group.
feel like if it's
Dad
the
and
son, though, the son's got to be really smart and evolved.
And they're not.
Yeah.
And that's why you said Tony Soprano.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
I like the power of that.
Same. But
There's
I
something
tried to
sexy.
marry that, and look what happened. It backfired on me.
Yeah, well, maybe I don't know. I don't
Or
know.
maybe it was like a little too cocky. You know, I don't know. Maybe there's an ego that comes along
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that. This power that we're talking about that we're looking for.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I feel like guys are equally looking for beauty as much as women, let's say, would look for power. I don't know if guys are looking for like a powerful bad bitch. I don't know.
I think ones that are quietly confident are looking for a powerful bad bitch.
Because you are that and I'm that and we're that. So we're going to have to think that. But I don't know if it's always true. You have,
I think it depends who
your
it is.
husband thinks that about you, but in life, I don't know that.
I think you might be right. It's hard to find a guy that's comfortable with a woman
Yeah.
who's extremely strong and has her own
And look
point
where
of
we
view.
are right now in our time. I'm not sure. It's giving barefoot and pregnant vibes again.
Oh,
They
yeah,
don't want you to be independent, bad bitch. They don't, I don't know. Or maybe they do, but they don't. Maybe they're kind of attracted to it, but they seriously hate it. I have issues. I have traumas, honey. I could lay all this out for you. I've seen a lot of things. And not even just personally for myself, but my friends. I've seen things.
Yeah, it is not easy to be in the position that you're in. Like you're so strong and you're so powerful and you.
But I can be I have a soft side.
I believe it.
And I don't think I'm like strong like this, like in bed. No, I think I'm like, what is it? Submissive.
Yeah, I get that. I actually get that. I was telling someone the other day, I'm like,
not submissive like a starfish.
No.
Okay.
No. No one thinks you're a starfish.
Okay, thank you.
Let me just clarify.
Do you guys know what that is? Do you know what starfish
in
is?
this room was
You just
picturing
lay
starfish.
there. I'm not just laying there.
No one's picturing starfish. Don't worry.
Oh, like in the bed.
Is she a starfish?
No.
Okay.
I'm not a
My
starfish.
God, I was asking him. Jay-Z.
Okay, let me know. Go ahead. Am I a starfish?
No.
You're answering for him.
No,
She's like
go ahead.
she's like Cirque du Soleil.
Not right now. This is
Okay, I approve. We like
We're
that.
getting to know each other pretty
I'm
well
proud
here.
of you.
But I
Go
agree.
you.
I have masculine energy when I'm at work, but when I'm home with my husband, I want to be submissive too. I get what you're saying.
Same.
I get
Because honestly, though, again, if you study this, the spectrum, right? Give yourself a little line there. We all, mankind, humankind, we're all on this spectrum of, feminine, masculine, super soft, super strong. We're all on the scale. Everybody. I don't care what you like or don't like or what you think someone else is. Trust me, we're all on that scale. It just it's kind of like politics. Which end? And there's somewhere in the middle. Your sexuality and your strength and your powerful vibes, that is all on a scale as well. So having said that, I am very manly. I'm very fucking manly.
No, I can
Yeah,
see
but
you
you gotta
being
be able to, I
soft.
think you gotta be able to tap into both sides.
Yeah.
Both sides. You don't want
But
to be
not manly in the sense of like I said, in bed, I would be more submissive. Not man. I'm not doing any weird tricks. I'm not doing any.
as long as,
not
you're not,
starfish.
as long as you guys
But
aren't picking
not
us up and carrying
starfish,
us
correct.
around, then we're good. That'd be terrible.
I'm not carrying anybody
Don't pick-
around
don't pick
either,
me
and
up
I'm
carry
very
me around,
tall.
you know.
I could
But
talk
I don't
to
mind
you
a short person
for
either.
hours. I'm so confused that you don't have a podcast. You need a podcast today. Like,
I'll come if you're sick. I'll come with you.
yeah, she should come.
That's
be
why
the-
we came. Or no, you're the one that's going to have a baby.
Yeah, great. You guys could podcast.
Would you
together.
allow me to come and
Yes!
talk
You
with
need to
your
come.
husband?
You know what?
Please, I could use a
Actually,
break.
that might be pretty funny when you're on
And then
that
I
leave.
could
I
give
could
you
swap
baby
into
tips.
different people, and we could act like it's like the him and her show still, right?
I would honestly.
It's him and her friends.
Why don't you guys do 4 episodes
That'd be funny.
together,
We could
and
just
you could
pop
interview
in.
like people you
I would
think
do it.
are interesting?
I would do it.
I
I think
like- I
that's
like that. That'd
why
be funny,
our
right?
manager, Anna, sent us here. I think this is really what's
Oh, see, that'd
happening.
be funny, right? If I had a new co-host for a while. A few times.
You should.
You're
I
getting
would
a
say-
little excited about this. Your co-host is this co-host
I'm
for the
good.
rest
I'm
of your
good.
life.
You
Oh,
guys-
she said I'm
Do you know what
good.
she told me the
Hey,
other day?
come.
She goes, "I'm gonna stop for a while, and you just like do a few shows."
I
I'm like,
said
I'll
do
do
4
them,
shows
but I'm like,
without
maybe,
me.
I don't want
Why
to just.
don't you guys put
No,
together?
you need a sidekick or someone, or like you need. I think that energy, a girl.
Yeah.
You should have her on for 4 episodes. I bet she has amazing ideas for guests.
Well, we're
and
gonna
I'll
talk
take a break.
after this anyway
Okay.
because you're a natural on the mic.
Okay.
You are.
You told me you were gonna
Correct.
talk,
Well, very
but
funny.
we talk about all
Okay,
things.
so we have a
Okay.
plan.
Everyone who lives in LA, go to Pellicure, get a scrub, get a head spa. I'm telling you, it's my absolute favorite place to go. Where can everyone find what you're working on, what you're doing, all the things, Baby Phat? Tell us where
So
to
I'm
go.
working on Baby Phat. I guess online. Yeah, babyphat.com, right? Some stores, but mostly like down online. I have an energy drink called Celsius. That's like a really popular energy drink.
Wait, what?
I have an
The
energy
whole office
drink.
is surviving.
Wait,
off
what do
these
you mean you have
Celsiuses.
an energy drink?
I own this energy drink.
We know.
Or
Celsius.
I'm an investor. I'm part of this company that owns, Celsius.
That was a good
Oh,
investment.
that old small one.
She's all, she's all,
Now-
I have a restaurant called McDonald's.
No, but now it's so crazy because that was one of the best investments I had ever made. That's another
Oh,
thing we
for
didn't
sure.
talk about. But invest your money, you guys, even if it's $1. Invest it. Safe. But the only way I think you can really grow your money is to invest. And it's been one of the banes of my existence because it's been kind of a point of contention with others around me lately. If you Google it, you'll know what I mean. But it's been like one of the best things of my life and also one of the, not Celsius, but just having it has caused some problems for me. But yeah,
Celsius is a big deal.
yeah,
Everyone drinks that.
it's a big deal.
It's
I
ever-
rang the bell on the NASDAQ. Did I ring the bell with Celsius? I think so, right?
Good for you.
So where can everyone find your Instagram? They probably already follow you.
My Instagram is Kimora Lee Simmons.
Okay.
And Ming's Instagram is Ming Lee Simmons. And Aoki's Instagram is
Aw.
Aoki Lee Simmons.
Cute.
And then I have Kenzo and Gary.
It's really cute that you pimp your kids out.
Thank you for
Not
doing
pimp
this.
your kids, but like,
Because they would be like, why did you say yours and not mine? Kenzo's, I don't know. Kenzo, KLH or something. And Gary's is a very weird name.
We have covered a lot of ground. in a very
We've
short
covered babies,
short period of
sex,
time.
finances,
Entrepreneurship,
fashion,
Tom Cruise. We got into Tom
business.
Cruise.
Huh?
Farming.
Farming
Yeah.
is very important. I swear, if I show you my list, farming and greenhouses on there.
I'm not surprised. I
And
hope that
shelter.
you will host the show when I'm gone and Michael's in LA next time. Invite a fun guest on, surprise him.
Do you guys usually do this here?
We do it here or in Austin?
We're in Texas mostly, so we're
Oh,
there.
okay.
That's where our main studio is. We're here, but we bounce around.
Yeah.
New York sometimes.
Or maybe I could be here and you could be there, and then
We'll figure it out.
That. I'm
You
not
guys
sure.
could do something fun.
We'll figure it out. Thank you, Kimora.
Thank
This is
you.
fun.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.